Sweet guys, welcome back to another in-person, well, not in-person. Fuck, bro. How did I used to do these back in the day? Sorry.
No,
Fuck.
it's super chill.
It goes to show, bro. I'm still trying to get the hang of this content stuff.
No, but I find it always
Uh,
so weird as well. Like it's something I struggle with speaking to the camera and as if they are people. It's
yeah, it
always
is what
mess
it
up
is.
the words and you have to stop and start again.
Okay, we can go. Sweet guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm here with the main man, Marcus. Marcus is one of the members inside of Setter Syndicate. He's been absolutely smashing it. He's come in with a sales background, which is nice compared to some of the testimonials we have been doing. A lot of diverse backgrounds. Marcus Estian's actually one of Marcus's best friends. Has a diverse sales background. Was a top performer within his company. We're going to run through sort of his story, his results, what he's been doing, and yeah, I think a lot of you will resonate with what he has to say. So we'll run a testimonial call. We'll ask you a couple questions, bro. We'll see sort of, your journey, what you've been achieving and your experience so far. First and foremost, obviously, do you want to just give the people an introduction, your name, where you're from, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that introduction. So yeah, my name is Marcus Clausen. Come from Stellenbosch. Grew up in a little farm town, but then moved to Stellenbosch. Started back in the service industry right after school. Hopped straight into things. After which I diverted more into sales. Went to Platinum Life, where I built up my telephone skills, sales background, all that, and then I actually came across it as Syndicate, and yeah, that's basically the
Yeah.
backstory.
Sweet, man. Also for the people watching, how old are you? I forgot to
Uh,
ask that.
23, yeah.
23. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, first and foremost, the first three questions we ask is sort of to give like a brief overview of the deeper questions we'll ask a little bit later on. But what was sort of the first thing that got you interested in remote work or more specifically high ticket sales appointment setting?
So I would say I don't think if it's I don't know if it's selfish or not, but I would say the money. The money is definitely, I think, one big thing, but also just the freedom. Man, just not sitting in an office or not having someone breathing down your neck the entire day, being able to do what you want, being able to still communicate with people, and also to solve problems at the end of the day. So that was one big thing for me. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you work remotely, the kind of it opens up so many doors in your life, things that you couldn't do before, that you can do now.
Amazing. Sweet, man. So yeah, like the usual suspects that will pop around. And then briefly, before we dive into sort of the more nitty-gritty, what made you decide to finally take action on joining Seta Syndicate?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I was just sick of it. I was just fed up with having to commute every day to work, taking up all that time, spending 10 to 12 hours at work and just not having the energy anymore to do what I love. When it comes to weekends, you're completely tuckered from the whole week of work that you don't want to do anything. So I'd say what got me to do it was just the fact or the idea in my head of creating balance in life.
Amazing. Sweet, man. 100%. I mean, I think it's universal across a lot of the people we speak to. Maybe less for you, even though it was probably getting to that point. Because I can't remember if it was you or Estian, because I know you both came from the same company. One of you did say worst comes to worst, you would work another year there. But a lot of people reach that like breaking point where they just want change.
Yeah.
So 100%. So going into that, what was life like before joining Cedar Syndicate, joining the program?
Pretty rocky. I mean, the job I used to work at was a very high pressure environment, which I'm fine with at the end of the day if the compensation is there for it. And it got to a point where, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. And then just after 6, you drive to work and it's still dark. You get home, it's still dark. You have all of your mates doing things after work. They get off at 5, they get off at 5:30, 6. You're still sitting in an office and just trying to grind for those last extra sales to come through. And it gets to the degree where you're nagging people. I mean, doing cold calls past 6, 7, it gets to a point where it's kind of ridiculous. Um, And yeah, that's basically it.
100%. And for like a bit more of a background, do you want to tell sort of the viewers what specifically you were doing for work a little bit more in depth?
Yeah. So if you're looking at my platinum life background, I was an insurance sales rep. So I worked in like a, you can call it a call center. It was basically like a glorified call center. So my goal was to reach out to people. We usually send gifts to them. I'd follow up on the gifts and then pitch the policy that they qualified for. So it was a lot of, objection handling and finding out the exact needs, but also even if they didn't have a need for it, we felt like we had to push for it. So we did high risk covers, accidental disability, as well as cancer covers for both men and women of any age group between 18 and 75. And yeah, do you want a little bit more in depth?
No, that gives a good background into also why, you've seen relatively fast progress is because that's not an easy position, that's not an easy sales position to be in. So I think a lot of the fundamental sales skills that you have and advanced sales skills you have, like objection handling, probably were built there. Hey, can imagine.
100%, man. I mean, their training is good. The training we got there is something that, I mean, it's the one good takeaway from the company, I would say, for me, is what I've learned there. I've learned incredible amounts of grit, incredible amount of dedication, skills, everything that, is transferable into a lot of other industries.
100%. And what do you feel like you were struggling with most before you started working in high ticket sales and started working with us at Cedar Syndicate?
I'd
Not
say,
actually, let me reframe the question, not as in like
mm,
not as in, struggling with most skill set wise, like within your life or within the job.
yeah, I'd say just managing my time. That was one of the biggest things for me, because it comes to a point where you can't really see your girlfriend when you want to see her. If something big comes up, there's a big anniversary, you can't just take a few hours off or take the day off or actually do something nice. As I said, weekends were just gone so quickly, and it's a constant stress of what are you going to do next week, what is happening next week. And it comes to a point where even if you're not at work, you're still kind of thinking about work. You're still in the headspace of I'm working. I have to think about this. I have to think about that. And I think it got to a point where it kind of just ate me up.
Yeah, I hear you. Got you, man. And like they, I can't remember specifically from the call we had, but was there anything apart from this? Like now, obviously in the industry, you're doing this full time, but was anything else you had tried prior to appointment setting or high ticket sales, like online or remote,
No,
to
so
make
this
it
was
work?
actually my first thing in this type of space. I didn't honestly know much about anything else. I was so focused on what I was doing at the time that I thought this was kind of like this is as good as it gets. I looked into door to door a little bit, but wasn't really a big fan of door to door. So then, yeah, from there on, I just came across your page and sparked the interest immediately.
Amazing. So you had never tried like drop shipping or
Mm-mm.
trading forex or crypto, anything
No,
online?
nothing like that. No, no, no.
Okay, interesting. So that's the first. That's a first. You're definitely a first on in that respect. So that's an interesting one then, because maybe you didn't know much else potentially about other stuff online. But then what specifically stood out to you about appointment setting or set a syndicate, sort of this side of
Mm.
things? What stood out to you about that then?
So the fact that I can do what I basically did from home and also for a foreign company, for an overseas company, because that would give me a lot more insight on how companies work and how different cultures operate, like phoning Americans as opposed to English people like from the UK. It is different. I mean, they're different people at the end of the day. And I think that helped me a lot to understand what's going on outside the world. And yeah, that's pretty much yeah.
Sick. Awesome. So like being able to also, I guess tying into working for overseas companies, like being able to earn in a foreign currency and have more scope for growth potentially as well.
For sure, for sure. I mean, with the rand where it is now, it's tough to make a living off your like in the country if you're not going for like an engineering job or a doctor job or account manager
Yeah.
or accountant or anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. And tying into that, oh man, there was a good question I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you there. So we were discussing, oh, the scope for growth. Yeah, so tying into that, in your prior position when you were selling insurance, was they like, did you have a ceiling or were you already hitting the ceiling? Were you capped out? Was there more scope for growth? What did that look like?
So are you meaning like in pay
That,
wise or climbing the ladder?
yeah, yeah, like pay wise in your position you were in.
So there was definitely scope for growth in pay. You know, you have people earning an insane amounts of money, but it got to a point where it wasn't really worth it for me anymore to try that hard because I don't want to badmouth the company or anything like that. But I believe in selling people stuff that they actually need. And for me to hit that amount, I'm kind of taking away from people who can't afford something, who really, really can't afford something, just for my better, like for my gain or for my
Yeah.
benefit. And
I,
that didn't sit right with me. And I just didn't want to put in that much time for something that might equate to, let's say, 80 grand a month. And I don't believe in it necessarily. I'd rather do something where, I believe in it. I love it. I love what I do. I wake up every morning and I'm excited to get to work and a little bit less as opposed to almost like killing myself for for that
yeah.
amount.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Got you. So, moving on from that, then, I appreciate you sharing all of that. With regards, sort of then to set a syndicate, were there, if any hesitations that you had? Not even actually set a syndicate, because for you it was maybe slightly different, but moving into this industry, were there any hesitations you had moving into this industry and working with us?
Honestly, not really, no. So I had a lot of people giving me backlash about it, like some of my friends, family, because they don't really understand what it was all about. And as soon as I started doing more research about everything, when I had my first call with you, all that, it kind of solidified my opinion of it. And I knew I knew I was going to be good at it. I just had this feeling that this is going to work out and no hesitation, just jumped in blindly and made it work.
Proper action taker. Those are the people, like for those who are watching, and this is not in like any salesy type of manner. Just I think with anything in life, which you've experienced yourself probably a few times, other than just jumping into this blindly, that's when you see the best results.
Mm.
Just like throwing yourself into the deep end. So 100%. And when you did throw yourself into the deep end, what was your experience like for the first 2 to 3 weeks after doing so?
First 2 to 3 weeks, like I was overwhelmed the first few days. There was a lot. Like I did my own research, but when I went through all the other materials, I found out like, wow, okay, well, I only got the tip of the iceberg. Now this is the rest of the iceberg. Things go a bit deep here. But yeah, from there, I would say it did take a couple of days to properly get used to everything. But as soon as I worked through everything, I felt a lot more comfortable. The Loom videos still to this day haunts me. But you get used to it after a while. Once you start
Yeah.
speaking and you start getting comfortable, I would say it does get a lot better. Um, but it did take me a solid 2.5 weeks to get everything settled.
Sweet. Yeah, 100%. I think specifically with the course material, it can be like an information overload. Um, when you feel like you have done a lot of research and then you come in and it's like, oh wow, like there's still so much more to do and learn, it can definitely be overwhelming. I feel like playing into that though, tying into that within the first 2 to 3 weeks though, although you didn't necessarily join the most calls because you guys were still, obviously working extremely
Mm.
hard at your insurance role. From the content materials you consume, the jobs, potentially if you watch calls back, I do believe you maybe joined a few calls with your camera off, if memory serves. What was your experience
I
in the
think I did
first 2 to
one.
3 weeks? Yeah, your first 2 to 3 weeks with all sort of the content material, jobs, and everything included within the community and program. What was your experience of that?
It was great, man. It was really, really great. Very insightful. Like you have a way of explaining things that make it very easy to grasp. Maybe you have to watch it once or twice, but eventually you will grasp it. You put it in very, very easy terms to understand. Coaching calls, I watched a few back. I think I might have joined like one or two. I honestly can't remember even. But the coaching calls also very, very insightful, especially the role plays. I watched this one. I think it was Scott. I'm not sure who exactly
Yeah,
hosted it, but very good. The especially the phone, like the dialing role plays, very
yeah,
insightful. Just to get used to the way you speak, the way you have to carry yourself in this market over the phone, was really really good. Honestly, without it, I don't think I would be where I am now, because finding all that information is going to take a long time to gather and to kind of solidify in your brain, but having it all in one space made everything so much easier.
awesome, sweet. Yeah, Scott's calls are epic. You know, Scott's actually in Cape Town right now.
Serious?
Yeah,
Is it
Scott's in
in
Cape Town.
a holiday or?
Yeah, yeah, I saw him. I saw him this weekend, prior to obviously what we were discussing before we started recording. When I got sick in that, but he's
That's
a
sick.
legend. I would always, for the people watching, actually, I'll just even mention, it's not just me who coaches. We've got multiple coaches inside, that teach different types of things. So it's not always just my perspective, and it's very collaborative type of vibe. We're always sharing different insights and what's working for each other. So yeah, but Scott's amazing. Those calls, I even sometimes join them myself, to be honest.
Yeah,
They're always
yeah.
valuable. You can always learn more as a rep. But sweet man, then moving forward from that, what would you say has been your biggest win since working with us and joining?
So I would say like obviously landing the jobs, but not necessarily to the like out of a monetary standpoint. I would say the biggest thing for me is landing a job that I really, really trust in and that I really believe in for the future. At the end of the day, growth is very, very important for me. So being able to be in a situation where I know there is growth and with the setters, our how the sales work, the sales process is quite lengthy. So you usually only close your sales after like a month or two. But it's going to be 6 weeks. I think next week will be my first appointment that closed. So I'm very, very stoked about that. Since it is quite of a lengthy process, usually you build it up over 2 months and then everything just starts flowing in on that specific offer. But yeah, I'd say that was my biggest win so far. Was
Landing the main role you're on now. You don't have to say who you're working for, by the
yeah,
way,
yeah,
but
yeah.
landing the role, that's
Yeah,
sick,
landing
man.
that role was great.
Yeah, that's a really, really good role. And that's actually super interesting because sales cycles in this industry are usually very short. Like
Mm-mm.
within you book a call sometimes next day, that call booked in for will close, or even same day.
Yeah,
My experience. So you are obviously on a more business to business type of role, right? It's in the marketing space, isn't it?
yeah, marketing, it is business to business.
Yeah,
So it does take long. There's no like hard selling or anything like that. So we really take it, we build the relationship first or build a lengthy relationship and then we go into the sales. So I like that way of doing things. It really resonated with
yeah,
me because I feel like the other people, they start getting intrigued more and more as the weeks go by.
100%, man. Sweet. Yeah, and that's a sick offer. I also know it's a lot higher ticket, or it is high,
Mm.
not like super high ticket, but what's the highest ticket offer you guys have?
I think the top one is 9 grand. Um, Usually we start them out around about 1400. Because that's obviously we upsell them at a later stage. So we
Yeah,
first get them to join us and then we upsell them as time goes by. That would be, I think the top one is 9K, but it really is dependent on the people we work with. If we have
yeah,
someone we work with that is absolutely massive, we can work out something a bit higher ticket.
Like unique. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
That's sweet, bro. That's good to hear. That those commission checks are going to be nice
yeah,
from the start rolling through.
yeah.
Sweet. Awesome, bro. And then like tying into that, how would you say your life has changed since getting into this industry and working with us?
Well, I'm happier, a lot happier. I get, better sleep. That obviously translates into me being happier. I have time to actually work out, focus on my health, spend time with my girlfriend, drive to see family. Almost in every aspect, I would say, my life has changed. Like everything is just enhanced to a different degree.
Amazing. So for you, like for the people watching, it's mainly been a thing of just like getting that freedom back.
Mm.
I think that you probably feel like I think the English term, because I know you're Afrikaans, is you feel probably very liberated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. I mean, I feel like I've got too much freedom at this stage, to be quite honest, man. It can be worrying, but I mean, it's nice. It's very stressless. Like, don't have
Sick.
to wake up and stress the whole time.
Lovely stuff. That's epic, bro. That's great to hear. And diving into sort of the last 3 or 4 questions here. What was one thing you learnt about yourself over the past? It's been about 2 months now, I'd say maybe just under 2 months. No, been over 2 months.
Yeah.
Um, did you learn about yourself through this industry, through working with us that you didn't expect you'd learn about yourself?
Oh, that's a very good question. I probably have to think about that one. Um, learn about myself. I would say I'm gonna go off on a limb. I don't think it's necessarily something new I learned. I think it's something that kind of I forgot about myself, that this journey kind of almost put back into me, like reiterated, if that's the right word. And that would be like grit and discipline, something that I feel like I kind of lost to a degree last year somewhere. And working through this, kind of having being in a situation where the only way is forward. You're in this now. That grit to get through it and do the grind and being able to come out on the other side is something that I felt was kind of lost, that drive. And to get that back, I think is also one of the biggest things.
Yeah, like I can relate to this, even though, I've never worked corporate. I did setting myself for a very long time. Obviously you have the ambition to go into closing within the, next couple months here. I did it for 2 years pretty much. And it's not a sense of like you were lazy at your job. It's kind of like the sense of you get so stuck into the daily motions
Yeah,
because you're also so good at what you do. It's not like
yeah,
you were bad. You were like this
yeah,
second or
yeah,
the best rep there. You're just so used to being the best and doing everything. You just feel accomplished, but not you're not cognitively realizing you're way under your potential, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
100%. It's almost like you
Like,
get stagnant to a degree, like stuck in
yeah,
the same place, and it's the same record spinning over and over again.
yeah. But it's playing a good song if we're
Yeah,
talking about a
yeah, yeah,
figurative. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
100%. Sweet. Yeah, no, I resonate with that a lot, bro. Like that's the exact same thing that happened to me, to be
Mm,
honest. I resonate with that a lot. Just finding that like drive for more again, because you were so used to being the best and doing good every single day that you kind of forgot about that there's more to do.
mm,
But
mm,
sweet.
mm.
All right, we can move into the last things here. So this is obviously a natural question you're probably expecting, but would you recommend Set a Syndicate? Excuse me. Firstly, who would you recommend Set a Syndicate to? What type of person?
Yeah, so definitely people that are driven, that are fine by, I'm not going to say doing the work alone, because you obviously have the whole community backing you. But at the end of the day, you're going to be the person sitting behind the desk and you're going to have to put the work in. People can help you, but they can't do it for you. So definitely someone who would be driven, someone looking to make an escape out of uh, you know, day-to-day office jobs, or your more generic sales jobs, I can put it like that. I don't know if even that's the right word. Remember, I am Afrikaans, so my English sometimes don't go too well.
So
But
good.
yeah, people that are driven, people that has ambition, people who wants to bet on themselves, I think is a big one as well. And yeah, that's about it.
Sweet. And if someone's on the fence about joining, what would you tell them?
Don't be no, just like yeah, just gun for it. If you feel you can do it, if there's a little voice deep down inside you that says you can do it, you can do it. It really is going to be what you make of it. But at the end of the day, the information, everything in there is so valuable in so many other aspects of your life that I think it's going to be worth it nonetheless.
Awesome, bro. I really appreciate that. And lastly, what does the future of Marcus look like?
Yeah, so definitely moving to a closing position and going up from there, going into account management manager would be the end goal. Um, just to keep growing, reach a point where I don't have to be on the dialer as much, that I can manage my own team of dialers. That would be fantastic. That would be great, and it's something I am working towards. But that's obviously only within the next couple of years. I first want to make my mark in setting, phone setting, doing closing, proper closing, and all that, and just kind of ramp up from there.
And then build, so if I, and then build your own thing, if I understand.
Yeah, so that is like I did mention it a couple of months ago to you as well. The app I was planning on building or thinking of building, that is still something in the back of my head. But a lot of things came up, so maybe I'll take it up again, maybe in the next year or two. But also studies, I want to finish my degree, get that sorted. Not necessarily to go into a specific field that I'm studying, but just to have something as well,
Yeah,
just
get it
to
under your
just
belt.
yes, exactly. Um, and then yeah, I mean, if you want to go
Epic,
really
bro.
far, start a future, start a family, everything like that, man.
Epic, bro. 100%. Awesome. Well, look, like, absolutely no doubt you're gonna do incredible things in the space. I think this industry is really great because what you once thought you may wanted to do, it can take you down a lot of different paths. You know, the conversation we have now, the conversation we had 2 months ago, two different conversations already about what, the future looks like.
Yeah.
All I know is it definitely will be prosperous. You know, you've been in this industry for basically 2 months within a position, and you're already absolutely smashing it. And yeah, absolutely think you will, do great things. So no doubts about that. But once, yeah, Marcus, I really appreciate you jumping on, man. I really appreciate all the answers, taking the time. Do you have anything else you want to tell the viewers?
No, not necessarily. I just want to thank you, man. Everything that you do, I think you're really doing things for the better of the world, for the better of the people, and for everyone watching. Sebastiano really cares. The whole community really cares, and that's something amazing. It's not just another number or anything like that. You are kind of like taken into this community and looked after. So, like, props to you. Props to the work you're doing. I think you're also smashing it, man.
Thank you so much, my brother. I really appreciate that. Awesome. Well, look, once again, really appreciate you jumping on, Marcus. I appreciate the time and the amazing answers. I hope those who come from a sales background resonated a lot with Marcus's story, having those KPIs, those long hours, leaving dark, coming home dark, and seeing the transformation that is possible if you could just use your amazing skill set and transfer it somewhere else where it's more valued and can bring you more benefits outside of work. I hope you did also enjoy this. And yeah, once again, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, easy, man. Thanks for taking the time as well. Eh?
Awesome. Cheers, bro.
Cheers,
I'm just gonna
man.
stop. I'm
Okay.
no, I'm just gonna stop recording.
You almost got me there.
Did you nearly leave?
Almost, man, because I wasn't really sure. Usually that's how